Welkom bij Kijk Kim, kunst in Maastricht. In deze aflevering gaan we op de internationale tour. En wel zo dat we van Maastricht een beetje het middelpunt van de wereld maken. Dat betekent dus de blik op oneindig, of in ieder geval over de grens. En de grens is hier natuurlijk nooit ver weg. Om te beginnen Yolande Harris, Engelse die vanuit Maastricht met haar performance met zoiets als een extended piano de wereld bedient. Amsterdam, Brussel en Keulen, nooit verder weg dan een treinreis.
Maastricht is in the center of many big cities and big scenes that are very complementary. So Cologne being one, Brussels being another, Amsterdam being another, just to name three nearby. And in that sense, it's very, very convenient. So instead of being in one scene, so if I lived in Cologne, I would be in the Cologne scene and would have got more into it perhaps. But to live in Maastricht is to be able to visit all these scenes within a very short distance, and that's much richer. That's Maastricht's benefit, I think. In my work and my studies and my life, I've had an enormous amount of influence from architecture and from sound and from visual arts. And they all contribute together in a kind of a whole that, to me, is worth exploring further, and in some way to heighten an experience of maybe everyday things that you might not understand are there. Particularly with sound, you don't necessarily hear all the time what is there. Often people nowadays have a GPS system in their car. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm looking at turning the data that is got from those satellites into sound and creating a sound environment with that, in a hope that you bring to light something that is almost taken for granted. We can't take those technological developments away, and they are enhancing a way that we are living. So in my work, I'm very interested in trying to deal with what's happening with those things. So the piece tonight with a piano that's extended, it is about working out what happens to a pianist, or what happens to an audience expecting to watch a pianist when the piano is extended and it's electronic. It does all sorts of different things. It can play by itself, it can do a number of things, and it's a very simple icon to use, but it becomes very complex once you start layering it in these ways of extensions, if you like. I don't provide answers, that's not interesting for me. More of more interest is to bring up questions and to deal with those questions and bring up more questions.